Hello, and thank you for joining us on this tragic day. On September 5th, terrorists attacked the Olympic Games in our city of Munich, Germany. At what was supposed to be a peaceful Olympic Games here now has turned into a massacre.
It has now been confirmed that all 11 Israeli athletes have passed away. The terror attack began at 4:30 a.m. yesterday morning. To get more information on what happened during the event, we will go to Police Chief Dr. Manfred Schreiber.
On the phone, we have Dr. Manfred Schreiber, the Munich Police Chief. Dr. Schreiber, please tell us what went down yesterday and early this morning at the airbase.
There was an unsuccessful attempt to rescue 9 Israeli hostages from 8 Palestinian terrorists. All 9 hostages have been found dead at the Fürstenfeldbruck Air Force Base inside the helicopters. It is not known at this time how they died. Thus, any rumors that reported that the hostages had been freed and were safe are false. 5 of the terrorists and a West German policeman also died during the airport battle. The 3 surviving terrorists have been arrested.
What led to the decision for an attempt to forcefully liberate the hostages?
The choice was out of my hands. The narrow course of action open was dictated by the terrorists on one hand and the Israeli government on the other. The terrorists had demanded free passage to an Arab capital, but had threatened to shoot the hostages on arrival if their other demand, that the about 200 named Arabs held prisoner in Israel be set free, were not met. The Israeli government steadfastly refused to release its Arab prisoners. We cannot determine or influence their actions. Thus, the final plan for attempting to liberate the Israeli hostages was approved.
Why was the plan unsuccessful in rescuing the hostages?
5 German sharpshooters had been sent to the tower at the airbase to stage an ambush. Scores of other armed policemen were stationed around the field. However, the 5 German sharpshooters were unable to hit 2 of the 4 terrorists exposed on the airfield when they opened fire at 10:36 p.m. on Tuesday. This enabled the surviving terrorists to continue to resist for hours and prevented the police from carrying out a plan to call on the terrorists still in 2 helicopters to surrender.
What efforts were made by the police to end the conflict?
The police offered a ceasefire at 10:50 p.m., calling on the terrorists to throw down their weapons and surrender. There was no response. Then, at 4 minutes past midnight, 2 terrorists jumped out from one of the helicopters, and one of the terrorists threw a live grenade into the aircraft, blowing it up. Again, it was not clear whether the hostages inside were still alive before the blast. These 2 terrorists were killed by the sharpshooters, and shortly after, the remaining terrorists were captured by police. A criminal investigation is underway, and thus there is no further information I can provide at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Schreiber, for speaking with us. Now we take it to Madeline O'Neill to talk to some athletes for some insight on the traumatic event.
Thank you. I'm reporting from the Olympic Stadium here in Munich. With me I have Shaul Ladady, an athlete in the Olympic Games. Shaul, what are you competing in these games?
I'm a race walker for Israel.
What did you see when you woke up this past morning, just hours after competing in a race?
Well, I was awoken abruptly by my roommate. We hurried towards the door to look out the window, where he saw a dark spot on the floor right outside of apartment 1. After looking at it for a second, he realized the spot came from the blood of the wrestling coach, Mosh Weinberg.
What did you do next?
My roommate suggested we leave as soon as possible, before the terrorists got a chance to enter our room.
How did you escape?
I was able to get out by running across the terrace towards safety.
I'm sure this has been a very rattling experience for you. How do you think this emotional stress will impact you and your country's teammates for the continuation of the Games?
As the only Holocaust survivor to attend the Games for Israel, I wanted to show how we are not wiped out, and we are still here. This event has stopped me from being able to show this pride in my race and religion. I just want my family to know I am safe, and I have not been able to contact them.
Thank you very much. We wish you all the best of luck.
What a traumatic experience. Now we take it to Alex Ellis, where she has another eyewitness. Hi Alex, what information can you provide for us?
Hi, my name is Alex Ellis, and I'm here at the Munich Olympic Village with some eyewitnesses. So, can you tell me your names and why you're here?
My name is Wayne Ballman, and I'm a wrestler for the United States.
I'm Tuvia Sokolsky. I'm the weightlifting coach for Israel.
Okay, and Tuvia, when did you know something was wrong last night?
I was asleep in the Israel apartment, and then I heard some shouting. Yosef Gutfriend was yelling at me, "Run, we're under attack."
Okay, and did you see anything?
When I got up, I saw Yosef fighting with a man in a mask who was trying to knock down our door. Yosef told me to run.
And can you tell us a little bit about your experience last night?
Yeah, around 5 a.m. we were just sitting in my room, and we heard this really loud bang, and some of us joked that it might be a gunshot, but no one was really serious, so we just went to bed.
And did you have any experience after these gunshots?
No, we slept the rest of the night, and we woke up in the morning. We had a weigh-in, and so we went to that, and that's when we learned of the shooting.
Okay, and when did you know something was wrong?
After Yosef told me to run, I climbed out the window to go get help, and I ran until I saw a guard and told him what happened. But when I was getting out of the window, I heard gunshots, and that's when I knew something was terribly wrong.
And did they inform you anything at the weigh-in?
We really didn't learn that much. It's just that there were people inside the Israeli housing and that we should be careful. And then that's when we learned about the 24-hour delay of the games.
Okay. How do you think this will affect the games?
Well, my friends and some of my athletes are captured and may also be dead. I'm very worried, and I think if they continue these games, we won't be able to focus. My athletes won't be able to focus, and I won't. They should stop the games now.
And overall, these are some very serious, intense moments. Do you feel like security could have handled this better?
I mean, I never really felt unsafe until after we learned of the shooting, but I don't really think anyone could have foreseen the events that unfolded here today.
Okay, thank you very much, boys. Back to you.
Mr. Zvi Zamir, head of the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, to speak on behalf of the country of the Olympians who were being held hostage. Can you talk to us about the Israelis' interaction with the terrorists?
Yes. The terrorists demanded the release of 234 Palestinians held in Israeli jails. Israel does not believe in giving in to the demands of the terrorists, and therefore we said no to them.
Can you please describe your experience at the airport where the remaining Israeli athletes were killed?
When we got to Fürstenfeldbruck, it was very dark. I couldn't believe it. We would have had the field flooded with lights. I thought they might have had more snipers or armored cars hiding in the shadows, but they didn't. The Germans were useless. Useless all the way.
Who do you blame for this?
Both the Olympic organizers and West Germany are to be blamed for this. We received intel that a similar terrorist scenario was predicted by a forensic psychologist, and the organizers completely chose to ignore this because of their goal of having a carefree game. Our sources also tell us that West German authorities received a tip-off from a Palestinian informant in Beirut 3 weeks ago, and they did not consider the serious enough to pass it on to their intelligence agency in Munich.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zamir, for taking time out of your day to talk to us. We have President of the Olympic Committee, Avery Brundage, here to speak to us on behalf of the Olympic Games.
How is the Olympic Committee handling the attack that happened yesterday morning?
Well, every civilized person recalls in horror at the barbarous criminal intrusion of terrorists into the peaceful Olympic precincts. We mourn our Israeli friends, victims of this brutal assault. Sadly, in this imperfect world, the greater and more important the Olympic Games become, the more they are open to commercial, political, and now criminal pressure.
What is next for the Olympic Games? Will they be postponed or will they continue?
I am sure the public will agree that we cannot allow a handful of terrorists to destroy this nucleus of international cooperation and goodwill we have in the Olympic movement. The game must go on, and we must continue our efforts to keep them clear, pure and honest, and try to extend sportsmanship of the athletic field to other areas. We declare today a day of mourning and will continue all the events one day later than scheduled.
Thank you for speaking with us today. This is all the information we have on this tragic event. Thank you again for joining us during this time.
We will make sure to keep everyone informed on this event as we receive information.